Hello friends, for those who are new here, I'm Tania Rose Jacob. In this video, I want to talk about the Bacillus anthracis. This is the causative organism for zoonotic disease called anthrax. Zoonotic disease means the disease spread between animals and people. The bacteria take the purple color on gram staining, so it's gram positive, which appear like large rectangular rods which arrange like chains. These are non-motile, capsulated and medusa head appearance or nutrient agar. We will discuss about this with pictures in the laboratory diagnosis part. These are aerobic, spore-forming, having centrally arranged non-bulging oval spores. Earlier, anthrax spores were used as an agent for biowar. Let's move on to the historical importance. First one, it's the first pathogenic bacterium seen under the microscope. Secondly, Koch postulates were made based on Bacillus anthracis. Anthrax vaccine was the first attenuated bacterial vaccine prepared. Anthrax was the first communicable disease shown to be transmitted by inoculation of infected blood. The pathogenesis is mainly due to two virulence factors. First one, anthrax toxin. Second one is anthrax capsule. Anthrax toxin and anthrax capsule. Anthrax toxin is a tripartite toxin having three fragments: protective factor, edema factor and lethal factor. Protective factor is the binding fragment which helps in binding to the host cell receptor, which facilitate the entry of other fragments into the host. Edema factor is the active fragment which acts as adenylate cyclase and increase the host cell cyclic AMP and cause the edema. And the third fragment of anthrax toxin is the lethal factor. Like the name, it causes the cell death. These three fragments are not toxic individually, but together they can produce local edema and generalized shock. Toxin synthesis is controlled by plasmid. The second virulence factor is anthrax capsule, which is a polypeptide capsule made of polyglutamate. The one point you should remember here is it's made up of polyglutamate, which is a protein. But the capsule of the other bacteria is made of polysaccharide, which is a carbohydrate. Anthrax capsule is plasmid coated. It inhibits the complement mediated phagocytosis. The clinical manifestations include animal anthrax and human anthrax. Animal anthrax mainly affect the herbivores like cattle by ingestion of spores in soil along with the grass. Animal to animal spread is rare. It can cause fatal septicemia in animals, but rarely it can cause cutaneous lesions in animals also. Next, let's see how it spread to human from animal. The infected animal discharge large number of bacilli from mouth, nose, rectum, and these discharged bacilli sporulate in soil, which is a source of infection for man. So, how it will transmit to man? Transmission can be of four ways. First one, by cutaneous mode, that is, a spore enters the human body through abraded skin. Secondly, by inhalation of spore, cause the pulmonary anthrax. Third chance of infection is by ingestion of infected flesh. Rarely it can enter indirectly through the vomitus. Human anthrax is of three types: cutaneous anthrax, pulmonary anthrax and intestinal anthrax. The intestinal anthrax is very rare and it is also known as bloody diarrhea. Cutaneous anthrax is also known as hide-Potter's disease, which means it's common in humans who carry the hides or infected skin of the animal on their bare back and transmitted by entry of spores through the wound or abraded skin, or we can say that it's transmitted by cutaneous exposure to the spores. It's characterized by malignant pustule. Here, the lesion begins as a pustule, then it becomes a painless vesicle, and then it forms necrotic scar which leads to edema. It's rarely caused the bioterrorism, but most common type of anthrax, and it's the most common type of anthrax. The cutaneous anthrax is the most common type of anthrax. You can see the diagram over here. The edema also you can see here. Next, the pulmonary anthrax, which mostly affect the human dealing with the wool of sheep. Hence, it is also known as wool-Potter's disease. It is transmitted by inhalation of spores in wool. Clinical features include the hemorrhagic pneumonia, hemorrhagic meningitis, bacteremia, and it is fatal if untreated. It's the most common form of cause the bioterrorism, and pulmonary anthrax is rare when compared to the cutaneous anthrax. You can see the X-ray of pulmonary anthrax over here, and you can compare with the normal as well as the affected X-ray sheet, the affected X-ray of a person, and the mediastinal widening and the pleural effusion on the chest X-ray in the pulmonary anthrax you can see over here. And next let's move on to the intestinal anthrax, which is also known as bloody diarrhea, and it is highly fatal, and it is transmitted by eating contaminated meat having spores of bacteria. And next let's discuss about the epidemiology. The epidemiology is primarily a disease of herbivorous animal. Due to control measures, there is a global reduction in livestock anthrax. Next let's move on to the laboratory diagnosis. There is high risk of laboratory acquired infection, so specimens should be processed in biological safety cabinets. First, we should collect the specimen, right? Which specimen we will collect? Okay, let's think. We can collect the pus or swab from the malignant pustule in case of cutaneous anthrax, and sputum in case of pulmonary anthrax, blood in case of septicemia, cerebrospinal fluid in case of hemorrhagic meningitis, gastric aspirate, food or feces in case of intestinal anthrax, which is very rare and highly fatal condition. You can collect earlobe from the infected dead animal also. Direct demonstration, these bacteria will take the purple color on gram staining, so it's gram positive and arranged in rectangular rows. And Macfadyen's reaction shows the amorphous purple capsule. This method is used for the demonstration of capsule. The amorphous purple color indicate the capsule, confirm the capsule. And Ascoli's thermoprecipitation test is and direct immunofluorescent test. These two are serological tests. Ascoli's thermoprecipitation test is outdated now. Direct immunofluorescent test is used to detect the capsular antigen. Here you can see the gram staining is for bacilli demonstration, Macfadyen's reaction is for capsule demonstration, and spore staining is for spore demonstration. And you can see here also. And it is the direct fluorescence antibody assay or direct immunofluorescence test. In culture, these are aerobic and non-fastidious organisms, so they can grow in ordinary and enriched media. So in nutrient agar, they have medusa head appearance, and on blood agar, they produce dry, wrinkled, non-hemolytic colonies. In gelatin stab agar, they have inverted fruit tree appearance. Here you can see the medusa head appearance on nutrient agar, and here you can see the non-hemolytic dry wrinkle colonies on the blood agar, and here you can see the inverted fruit tree appearance on the gelatin stab agar also. Next, the selective media. The selective media using here is the first one sodium medium with a penicillin, and secondly pleat media, which consisting of polymyxin, lysozyme, EDTA and thalassacetate added in hard infusion agar. Pleat media is devised to isolate Bacillus anthracis from mixture of other spore-bearing bacilli. On gram staining of the culture smear, what we can see is gram positive, it's the pleat medium you can see over here. And on gram staining, what we can see here is gram positive rod with bamboo stick appearance. You can see that here. And spore can be stained using Ashby's method and acid for staining. Lipid granules can be stained with Sudan black bee. ELISA is for antibody detection and molecular diagnosis by PCR detecting specific genes. Next, let's see how we can prevent the Bacillus anthracis infection. Either burn or make deep lime pit and dispose the animal carcasses, because it's a zoonotic disease. When we are using animal products, first decontaminate it by autoclaving. Protective clothing or gloves should be used by the people handling infectious materials. Next, let's see how we will treat these infections. For the treatment of cutaneous anthrax, doxycycline, erythromycin, ciprofloxacin can be used. Pulmonary anthrax treatment is using the multi-drug therapy. Ciprofloxacin, rifampin and vancomycin is used for the multi-drug therapy. And live attenuated non-capsulated spore vaccine or stern vaccine, which is used in animals and it is not safe for human use. Then which is the safest and effective vaccine for human use? It's alum precipitated toxoid vaccine. It's prepared from protective antigen. The antibody which is formed against this protective antigen neutralize it and prevent the attachment of toxin to the host. This vaccine is given to persons occupationally exposed to the anthrax infection. The schedule of this vaccine is it's given in 3 doses intramuscularly at first day, 6th week and 6th month, and a booster dose after 1 year. Now let's discuss briefly about the other bacillus species of human importance. The term we should remember here is Anthracoid bacilli. That is a bacillus species other than the Bacillus anthracis. Except Bacillus cereus, other Anthracoid bacilli are non-pathogenic but contaminants in laboratory cultures. Since the Anthracoid bacilli produces wrinkle colonies, they have resemblance with the Bacillus anthracis. Now let's see some difference between Anthracoid bacilli and the Bacillus anthracis. It's a table showing the difference between these two. Try to remember some of the differences, like Bacillus anthracis is non-motile whereas Anthracoid bacilli is motile. Bacillus anthracis have capsule whereas Anthracoid don't have any capsule. And Bacillus anthracis is arranged as long chain whereas Anthracoid bacilli arranged as short chain. And Bacillus anthracis produce the medusa head colony whereas Anthracoid bacilli there is no medusa head colony on blood agar. Like that you just remember few differences between Bacillus anthracis as well as Anthracoid bacilli. It's about today's video. We will be dealing with the Bacillus cereus in the another video. So if you have any doubt or any suggestions, comment in the comment box. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and thank you for watching.